Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dreamhack 2011 Winter Tournament with myself, TotalBiscuit.
And myself, Apollo.
Yes, Apollo. You're still enthused after these many hours of casting.
I know, my voice is kind of hanging in.
That's good, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Tasteless was teaching me the art of the diaphragm last night over a whiskey.
It's very, very important to do that. He was also teaching the art of the whiskey, which is actually part of his secret casting technique.
Yes, indeed. And I can't quite do that, unfortunately, so...
We could certainly try at some point, we just don't have the time.
I'd die after 2.
Yeah, that's a big grim, isn't it?
I'm pretty bad at drinking. I used to be so good. I used to be an alcoholic. I'm like so good at drinking, but
no, it's not something to be proud of, really.
No, that's what I was trying to think. But
yeah, exactly.
I used to be able to handle my ale.
Exactly, handle the ale. That's exactly it. Have a certain tolerance.
Not so much anymore, though, unfortunately. All right, so it looks like both these players already. This is Beastyqt versus Ciara. Ciara already out. Beastyqt with a very small chance. He has to win this game 2-0 for sure if he wants to advance through. And then he has to obviously depend on another game, so...
Yeah, let's make it happen. So we saw Ciara go up against Naniwa, and Naniwa not looking as strong as he should have, honestly, in that series. That was slightly embarrassing for him, I feel.
Indeed, and I'm trying to think, actually, let me have a look quick at the groups. It was Beastyqt actually lost versus Happy. So Happy is in pretty good position, but he obviously needs to lose again versus Naniwa, and then Beastyqt is in a shot, depending on map scores.
Yes, indeed. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to bring you Beastyqt. He's in the yellow trunks, and he is playing Terran to the northwest of this, the Tal'Daram Altar, versus his opponent, Ciara. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the southwest.
So I think the way that it's going to work, because Beauty BQ...
A Beauty
I know, I'm like messing up his
That's
name.
what it is now, Beastyqt, okay.
So Beastyqt actually took a game off Naniwa.
Yep.
So he took a game off Naniwa. If Happy doesn't, and Beastyqt wins this game, map score usually comes above head-to-head.
Yeah.
In pretty much any esports events, it's pretty much always been that way, dependent on the rules, but that's the way it should be. For example, if Manchester United were top versus Chelsea and they both have the same points, it goes to goal difference before head-to-head.
Yes.
Same scenario in this case as well.
Yeah, and that will make things very interesting indeed. We'll see how Ciara decides to play, because obviously he's not been playing so well, and he's pretty much out at this point, so does he even bother trying?
I mean, he's playing for what? I mean, for practice, to give Beastyqt the chance to go through. I mean, there's a lot of different, kind of roles he has here. But at the end of the day, it's Starcraft 2, it's a respectful game, it's a mannerful game, so I suspect we'll see Ciara give it his all.
Well, we shall see about that. Ciara has not exactly shown his GGing skills lately, but we'll find out. He's going to go for Hatchery first, which on Tal'Daram, of course. I mean, really on a lot of maps versus Terran, of course, especially in this kind of map pool. So that's not really all that surprising.
And over here we are actually going to have Command Center first by Beastyqt, and I'm actually quite excited to watch this game because I know how good he is in TBD.
Yes,
he's very good Terran versus Zerg, and beats so many Zergs with so simple pushes, and his timings are good, his macro is good, and his upgrades are fantastic as well. So really excited to see how this goes down. And on this map, you can get away with Command Center first because your opponent is pretty much 99% of the time going to go hatch first.
Yeah, there's very, very few reasons not to. It's very risky to go with anything else, mostly because of the fact that it's such a long rush distance. Scouting is difficult. You can't really be 100% certain what your opponent's going to do. And while we do see some rushes on this map, it's not that common. Second barracks coming out for Beastyqt. He looks like he's going to just form the wall off entirely of barracks, which makes it pretty much Baneling-proof. Yeah,
I mean, there still is the option to Baneling bust, because I don't think he'll wall it off completely with 3 barracks. That's a pretty unusual build if he wants to do that.
Yeah.
So it will probably be like a bunker and a supply depot. So we'll have to see how that does develop. But over on the other side of Ciara's base, we do have gas now being intaken, and speed will be started as soon as he hits 100. But more importantly, when is Beastyqt going to take his second and third gas? Because that is an interesting question. He's probably going to wait for the orbital command. Over the next 150, he should be going down now because he wants to get his factory up, and especially if he is going to play against any form of aggression, Roaches, Lings, or Banelings, then he's going to need that factory, and he's definitely going to need tanks out ASAP.
Yes, he is, and that is the 3 barracks wall off right there from Beastyqt, and you might wonder, well, how did I know that? It's actually because Beastyqt has been known to do this from time to time. It's a very, very strong wall-off, obviously. It's a bit awkward, because if you want to get out, you've got to lift up the barracks and nonsense like that.
The supply depot lets you out. Just
yes, it does, yeah. But that's unfortunately going one by one. It takes ages to get through that, so it can slow your push-up just a little bit.
And we do have another barracks going down. Oh, Beastyqt throws down a 4th barracks. The 3rd one is usually, you're pushing your tech back a little bit too far. But a 4th one is like,
that's aggressive.
So we're probably going to see a lot of Marines out now, and he's going to be pushing a really awkward timing. It's going to be around the 7-minute mark, and it's going to be like a, hey, what's up? What can you do against Marines at this stage of the game? Which usually isn't going to be a lot.
Yeah, now, let's see what Ciara actually knows. He does know about the 3rd barracks, and intriguing, honestly. There we go. Baneling that's coming down, and a fairly early engineering bay here for Beastyqt.
The engineering bay, basically, if you remember, a couple of games ago, we saw, who was it who did that? We saw against Hey Pro, my mind, Nama. So we saw Nama do basically what we're seeing Beastyqt do. Very Marine only, but at the same time, we have aggression versus aggression, where Baneling is down, and he's literally going to bust through a barracks. So this is going to be an interesting game for sure. There are 8 more Lings in production, basically to kill a barracks. I don't know how much, I think it's 10 Banelings, it may be 12, I can't remember exactly, but he's going to be able to bust through the barracks. And it's all going to come down to, does he get combat shields or does he get stim first? Usually, it's stim first. In that case, this is going to be really hard to defend.
Yes, it is, and it's kind of unexpected, honestly. You put down 3 barracks like that and say, hey, look, I got him Baneling proof. Nah, not exactly. Admittedly, Ciara doesn't have enough Banelings just yet to make that happen, but his gas count is going up fairly high. He is mining actually only 1. That's interesting. I have to wonder if he's doing that on purpose. He's only mining with 1 drone from the gas.
Well, he just wants to keep Banelings enough so that he can go ahead and make more if need be. But look at the Baneling count right now. He doesn't need more than 14.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to bust through this. I think it's 12, actually, to bust the barracks. So, the mortar kills 1 before he even goes to the barracks.
He's actually going to try and bust through that, which he can do it. Wow, that was a detonation. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the follow-up for it.
I don't know why he tried to do that. He wasted so many Lings and Banelings doing that because it's obviously prolonged the life of all the Marines at the back because this was coming. So therefore he was able to do that quite easily. And as you already pointed out, he's only 1 in gas. So it's like, all right, well, what do I do now? I don't have any gas to build Banelings. And all of a sudden, we have Ciara in a horrible place where he's like, I don't know what to do now. I guess I should tech. And then Beastyqt is going to roll out with Stim. He can very easily go Medivacs as well, but probably can just go without it and just go pure ground. And it's like,
I don't know. And Ciara already knows that he's lost. I have to wonder if he's even trying it. He's had it in 1. He's now put 3 in gas and obviously 3 in the other gas as well. And we'll see if he decides to take the gas from his natural as well. But that's it. 1 in gas. There is not a huge amount of reason for it. The Ling's having a lot of fun just playing Ring Around the Rosie here with these destructible rocks, but we'll see if Ciara is able to expand and come back into this. Beastyqt's Marine count is not as high as I would have expected at this stage, mostly because he lost the barracks right there, but he's now got 4 barracks. Actually, is he on 5? Yes, he is. And there's the swap around to get the Medivac, so pretty much pure Marine Medivac. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No, he's going to have to split, of course, very hard unless he starts to produce tanks. But the recent kind of metagame and the way that this matchup has been evolving a lot is tanks really come in once the 3rd base is taken. You build a lot of, all your gas basically goes into early Medivacs because you're obviously a lot better against Mutalisks. Because tanks provide you nothing apart from defense. And if you can split well, if you can hold well, then you're in a good position. The thing is, he can't just pick up and leave right now because there's the presence of Links and Banelings potentially in the middle of the map. So he literally has to wait for Medivacs before he goes anywhere and can always pick up and leave if he's under danger.
Yeah, that's exactly true. And we do have the Medivacs coming in right now. Sitting on 2 at the moment. See if he decides to grab another 2 very, very quickly. He does have the gas for it, and he doesn't look like he's chosen to go with any more Medivacs at present.
And he's strolling down now, started his tank production as his 3rd base is up. Just needs to actually plan it down onto that location so he can mine gas from it. But this push is going to come down. Banelings are about to finish with Baneling speed. A bit of a counterattack kind of fail.
Yeah, he can't bust through that. It's just not going to happen. He doesn't have the surface area for it. There's the Baneling speed, and he's going to move on to creep. This could get very, very messy for Beastyqt. He's going to be extremely careful. Takes out an Overlord for free and stims away.
Well, a lot of these Lings are going to... He actually can't pick up with these Marines and Medivacs, so a lot are going to go down.
Yeah, they will. We'll see how good his splitting is, I guess, in this one. And it's good, but there's a lot of Banelings there. I mean, they weren't exactly used efficiently, but he does get the cleanup.
It's not quite a Puma split, is it? Not quite.
No, not exactly. It's not right there. Beastyqt has a single Marine that looks like it's going to drop to its doom right in the middle either.
I know, it's going to get a drone kill, is it?
No, maybe. It's going to get really angry and then be overrun by everybody. Beastyqt now leaving, needless to say. If we look at resources lost, that we see that the Zerg player has lost more. I mean, he did throw away quite a lot with the early Banelings initially, so Beastyqt's pretty okay at the moment. Worker supply count is actually in Beastyqt's favor. Once he's firmly secured, it looks like we're under attack by the Japanese Navy, I think.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, whatever the case, once he's secured this, assuming that he doesn't get all of his SCVs eaten in the process, then he should be in a good position.
Yeah, indeed. But 3 base versus 3 base, it's going to be a great scenario anyway, you look at it basically. But how these Lings actually managed to get in, not really going to do that much, maybe a few SCV kills, but Beastyqt is just going to leave his SCVs there. He's going to fight with them?
Well, yes, he's given them some essential combat training. You know, this isn't Starcraft, this is Dungeon Keeper. He's got to get him up to level 5.
And he actually loses 11 SCVs in total now, so a little bit sloppy. Could have pulled them a little bit earlier to prevent that from happening, but at the same time, Ling Infester, it's good. It's going to work out well, especially against this composition we're having from here from Beastyqt. Very low in tanks. The tanks need to ramp up production. Second factory about to finish now, so he can actually get that production up. Well, third base has been stunted a little bit, and Ciara taking that fourth base as well.
Yes, absolutely. And Ciara does now have a fairly significant lead in terms of worker count. Beastyqt having thrown away his own. That said, we are still looking at 3 orbital commands at this point. That's a lot of mules coming down on the third base here, potentially. Something to consider, certainly. Beastyqt in the meantime, rolling out and having a look around, seeing exactly what he can see, and he does have a fairly strong force going forward. Army supply count is definitely in his favor. Ciara's way behind in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually teching up to Hive right now, trying to get Neuroparasite, which won't work out so well. Basically, what Ciara needs to do is just hold the Terran in his base for as long as possible, which is harder than it actually is because he doesn't have Mulus, he literally only has Link
Yeah, exactly. With that amount of ability and also +1/+1 with +2 about to finish on that Marine count, what are you going to do? The only thing you can really do is start to throw Banelings at it, hope you actually get some good detonations. Ciara's not doing that. He's sitting on quite a lot of gas at the moment, but he's having to save that for Infestors.
And the Hive very close to finishing now. Going to Hive, if he wants to go to Hive, actually hold that thought, because there is a drop coming onto the natural area. Gets picked up by Infestors quite easily, though.
Yeah, it's a nice little fungal growth to follow that one up, and that is a lot of dead Marines and also a dead Medivac in the air. So there you go, taken out nice and easily. Beastyqt now forcing his way forward. Doesn't have a lot of tanks. He is sitting on 4, and there is certainly the potential for horrible things to happen to those tanks, especially there. I could think that would be a good place to drop some infested Terrans, but Beastyqt smartly decided to back that up with a force of Marines, knowing that he can just shell his base with impunity right now.
Yeah, I mean, Beastyqt's hit this timing of his own, but it's worked out really well against what Ciara is doing. Trying to go up to Hive. He's got it high, but what is he doing there? Apart from getting adrenal glands, it's not going to really help out against this position.
No,
he's got it.
Not.
And if his units or money was invested in units, then he could have dealt with this a lot better. We do have a drop onto the fourth base as well here by Beastyqt.
Yep, and here it is. And will he be able to do any damage? Not really. He's going to get the surround right easily there. And unfortunately, these tanks from Beastyqt aren't really able to do anything else other than shell the lava. There's nothing really he can do. The Infestors and the Banelings are stuck in the center here. This drop's now going to go through to the third. This is a good opportunity for that drop to die horribly. Banelings crashing in to make that happen. There's the cleanup without too much of a problem. I don't know if that was really worthwhile, the number of Banelings expended, but at least he didn't take any more damage there.
A Ghost Academy has been thrown down, and equally we have a fourth command center so he can ramp up his own economy too. But 2 Marines do actually manage to kill an extractor on the fourth base. Always good to hold that gas from the Zerg player. Meanwhile, still at Hive, I'm surprised we haven't actually seen an Ultralist Den go down yet. But he is under a bit of pressure right now to kind of hold on, because he's lost his natural gas income. And as I say that, there is the Ultralist cavern being thrown down as well.
Yeah, interesting move here by Beastyqt. He actually has 2 tanks in that Medivac, so really have to wonder what he's going to do with those. Will they be spotted? No, they will not. There is the opportunity to siege up on the top of this, but they'll be instantly surrounded and killed by Lings, unless he's got a backup plan for that one. Unless, of course, Ciara's not paying attention. He is quite far away here.
So drop into the main as well, doing a lot of damage here.
Yeah, that's looking messy, and the cleanup is coming in, but that's a quick pick up and go right there. Those tanks are now sieged up and are hitting the static defenses and then looking to hit the mineral line after that. And we can have a look back and see that drop actually got away full, with not a good position here for Ciara, who he has not responded to this, which is incredibly silly, and he had a lot of lings available in the middle of the map that could have easily responded to that, especially with the tanks on siege. Now, of course, those tanks just go to town, and lots of workers killed right here by Beastyqt.
Yeah, indeed. He's going to kill the hatchery if he doesn't respond with +1. This hatchery is actually going to go down a lot faster than you'd think. Meanwhile, there is that drop at the bottom left still hanging about, waiting for Beastyqt to move it in. There it does go in, and it's going to be greeted by, well, absolutely no. There's the Infestor Links.
Yeah, he's looking for the catch right there. Baneling's crashing in to clean that up, no problem whatsoever, and he can prevent that from going anywhere. And the tanks do get killed, which is unfortunate. He didn't get the pick up in time, which is a bit of a slip up there by Beastyqt. He could have easily grabbed that, but there you go. The hatchery isn't taken down. Some economic damage certainly done. Beastyqt with a good siege tank deployment here. This map is terrible when it comes to dealing with siege tanks on that low ground under the natural.
Yeah, I mean, even with Ultralisk, it's still really difficult, though he doesn't even got any Ultralisk out yet, or even any in production.
Yeah.
And this army from Beastyqt at 3-1, working on 3-2. Marauders and Ghosts already on the way out to actually combat these Ultralisk, and we do have another drop coming down on the right hand side of this flank. Going to start denying these back bases for Ciara.
Yep, and that's going to be a pain in the ass because he's cut the force right down the middle. He's got siege tank deployment. There really is no way to reinforce those back bases at present in a safe manner. And Beastyqt knows this, so he's deliberately going to go stim down and deal with that hatchery as well. The reinforcements will come in. That's a massive Baneling morph there, and the contain is in place across this area. So really Beastyqt has forced Ciara just to move in one particular direction in order to try and save against that. There's another drop that causes the hatchery to be destroyed down to the bottom there, as you can very, very clearly see. And where does Ciara go from here? He can only really go down one route. An Ultralisk now deployed in order to start cleaning that up. He's got to hit the flank, and he's got to do damage, and that's still a lot of tanks he goes up against. No, that is not what you do in that situation. But will that be enough for distraction to allow him to go through here? Baneling's crashed through. There's a lot of Infestors, but there's still quite a lot of tanks there as well. Infestor Terrans go down. There's the scan in order to prevent them from tunneling away, I guess. Infestor's thrown away. The hard contain does hold.
But more importantly, he's lost his 4th base, he lost his 5th base to drops, he doesn't have any gas income, he's lost his natural to solid position.
Yep.
He's got a lot of Infestors, but that's not really going to help out when you have a million Ghosts on the way and tanks and
exactly.
more production. I'm actually quite surprised that Beastyqt's production only sits in at 8 barracks, a little bit low for this stage in the game, but still, he's in a comfortable position.
Yeah, Vikings now coming down as well, just to make matters even worse, to try to work away at that Overlord count. There's quite a few, so Ciara's actually stuck at 136 total supply. Beastyqt hasn't by the balls at this point.
Another drop at the bottom side, Relentless with these. Managing to kill quite a few drones here. You can see throughout the game, 37 drones have gone down now, and a drop in the main as well. Absolutely all over the place.
Yep, this is brutal, isn't it? It really, really is. Ciara has not really looked in a great situation the entire game. I don't think he honestly cares. I mean, it doesn't show in his play at any rate. Beastyqt is showing dominance here. Beastyqt knowing that taking this series 2-0 will give him a good shot of going through.
Well, here come the Ghostbusters as they march down. They got their pack on the back and everything, but...
Yep, who are you going to call?
Well, this is going to be tough because there's a lot of Infestors. He's going to lay the trap down and he's going to stamp on that button.
Pretty much, yeah. Lay that trap and stick them in. What can I say? Oh, that's a lot of EMP. That's horrendous. Normally, you don't use Ghosts directly against Lings, but Ciara is going to leave anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Ciara just like hits F10N all the time.
Ciara has now been trapped, and he will be stuck in Ghost Hell for a very long time.
Let's have a look at this group, because I'm sure Beastyqt has a slight chance to advance still. I'm sure he's... So let me look at this. Happy 2020. Beastyqt 20. Oops. Maybe he is just out, actually. I really thought he still had a chance, though. A very small one.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure he still has a really small one. I think that's wrong.
Yeah, potentially. That's the problem. We're sort of relying on the TLPD at the moment, which might be out of date. Yeah.
Beastyqt, let's have a look. 0-2 versus Happy. Beastyqt versus Ciara. So it is true. It looks like Beastyqt is out anyway.
Yeah, there's no way he can get out. So
doesn't look like
really, neither of these guys actually give a toss at this point.
You could say that, I suppose.
Yeah.
But still, another game remaining. We shall go before dinner.
Yes.
And dinner break
delicious
is
dinner.
actually going to be until 9:30 local time.
All right.
It's currently 10 to 8.
Yeah.
So we're probably looking about an hour break once this is finished, this series.
Yeah. Could we tell Ciara just a 6 pull and then leave the game? That would be good.
Longer dinner break.
Yeah, exactly.